Three, two, one. Welcome to the Buckhouse podcast. I am one of your hosts, Benjamin Buckhouse, alongside Johnathan Buckhouse right there. We are just two brothers that just talk and just bond and do things, and we don't really have any plans for the episode. We just talk and let our conversations take control and let that be the topic of the video or the podcast. From there, we are on episode 25, halfway to 50, almost halfway to we're one away from half a year, which is incredible to think about. So if you guys are new here, we got plenty of episodes for you guys to listen to. We are super excited for this episode. I know Johnathan is. Let's go over to Johnathan right now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's episode. And if you've been listening or a long-time listener of the channel, you know that I've been making some changes on my YouTube channel and getting actually a lot of success. So first off, the strategy change that I made of doing less long form, more short form, has exploded all of my socials. Mainly Instagram is going, I've kept multiple Instagram videos hitting over 1 million views now. And then on YouTube as well, just subscribers went from losing subscribers every month to now I'm like almost 1,000 new subscribers. So that's pretty cool. You know, seeing positive changes immediately after a strategy change is really exciting.
No, I've been seeing them. You got 2 videos that passed 1 million views on Instagram, which I know that that's not necessarily foreign to you to get the 1 million views, but during this time, once again, if you're new to the channel, Johnathan's a snowboarding YouTuber. So with that being said, it's the summertime. It's the dead time for him. There's not a lot of people snowboarding, not a lot of people really interested in snowboarding content. So to get 1 million views on 2 different videos in the off season is incredible. Yeah, that's incredible, dude.
Someone was talking trash on one of my not popular videos, and because people like to talk trash to me, and he was like, "Wow, so many, like 500,000 or 250,000 subscribers, and you're replying to comments." And then also he was like, he's like, "Also, there's only 10 comments on this video," something like that. And I was like, "Dude, it's literally September. Like, take a chill pill there, buddy." Like, of course I can reply to comments right now. I got my job is to do that, is to reply to comments.
I can't believe, like, I let's still dive into you, but so my Instagram has been doing really well too, and with it comes hate. And I had this guy, and we've talked about it before, clapping back, something I love to do that can kind of get me into some trouble, but clapping back to mean comments. This guy commented on my channel and was just like, "This is an L," like, he was like, "You actually made a video about this. This is an L take, like, blah, blah, whatever." And I looked down his profile just out of curiosity, and he had a Bible verse in his description or in his bio. So I literally called him out. I was like, what's a bigger L take, my post or you having a Bible verse in your bio and then being a hypocrite to me? And then he just wanted to. He just went so hard, and he was like, nobody likes your content. 66% of your comments are negative. So out of curiosity, I scrolled through my videos. It took me 25 scrolls to find a negative comment. And I was like, what are you on right now? And just people are so negative, and it's like, why do people want to spread hate? I don't get that, dude. With fame comes some hate, I guess.
Yeah, no, anytime you're, I guess in a way, asking for attention, people are going to give it to you, whether it's positive or negative. I will say, I don't know if you watched the video. I told you to watch yesterday's video because I posted a video thinking it would be fun. Let's talk about some horrible trends, like goofy things that I think are going on in the industry, but in a fun light, in a, like, if you do it, like, if you're doing these trends, like, whatever, do them, but like, they're a little silly. But one of the things, I guess I shouldn't have had this as one of the trends, but I was like, yo, gatekeeping is the lamest thing ever. You know, discouraging people from going snowboarding or making fun of them because they don't have the proper snowboard gear, like tearing down others because you've put more time into the sport and you're better at someone than it, is like super lame. Like, even if you disagreed with one of my points or like the trendy things, which is totally fine, like, disagreeing is so fine. I have people like calling me to take down the video and that I'm a gatekeeper and all this stuff. I was like, well, this video went completely sideways. I didn't expect it to go this route, but the video is absolutely crushing it. So I don't know what to do.
So, I'm gonna play like devil's advocate here, bro, because I do see where they're coming from, and I think that it's honestly just a miscommunication. I know what you meant by it. So if you guys if for people that aren't familiar with what we're talking about, Johnathan posted a video called "The 10 Worst Snowboard Trends." And in it, he talked about how like people will be on the chairlift, like making fun of people down below, and like that's just not cool, and like things along that line. But in there, he did say, "Don't be a gatekeeper." Then you also went on to talk about like people that are riding around with a speaker on their backpack just blaring music, like that's not cool. So it kind of sounded hypocritical, but I know what you meant, bro. When you meant gatekeeping, it's like don't be that guy that's discouraging other people from from learning the sport or getting good at the sport, which is a very common issue when it comes to snowboarding. But it's also like a lot of the stuff that you were mentioning was just like be a cool person, don't be a mean person, don't be that obnoxious person on the mountain type of deal. And then the gatekeeping thing didn't really clarify the difference. And so I do see why you're getting that. I do see why people are getting frustrated with you. But no, I know that you meant it in like you only meant it in like goodwill. Like you weren't trying to be that guy. But I think that if you just explain kind of the difference on your stance there, bro, I think that you would be getting less of that hate. But at the same time, hate makes a video kind of go more viral, so it's kind of better for you.
I say it is what it is, and I can always tell when I've reached like past my audience, and this video is one of those videos that has gone past my audience. And once again, it's September, so this video I do see like it's going to be in the hundreds of thousands. Like I've done it enough that I can tell the trajectory of this video is going to do very well, and it's just like it's one of those where I might lose a couple subscribers from this one, but the overall grand scheme of things, it's like really good for the channel. And really, like you said, it's just miscommunication. People clearly didn't understand my point, and I do think a lot of the people that took offense are the ones that I was like, yo, I think riding around in pajamas, onesies is kind of like for the kids, and leave it for the kids. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to do that, you could do it, but it's trendy. It's a bad trend in my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm correct about it. Doesn't mean you have to stop it. But over the last 2 years, because they've actually become available now, like adult giraffe onesies don't exist or didn't exist 3 years ago. Now they're everywhere on the mountain, which is fine. But a lot of people defending it too is like, I love seeing a Pikachu do a backflip. I'm like, yo, dude, the guys that are dressing up like that are not doing cool tricks. I'm sorry. At least in my opinion. It does, if that makes sense.
You're not wrong that the people that are dressing in Pikachu outfits are not going hard in the park. So you're not wrong in that sense. But no, in my opinion, like I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, bro, because I think that a good stance for this whole thing is just like if it doesn't affect you, then like why does it matter? And I know that what you're saying, like these are opinions of yours, and you're just talking about like these trends. So like your video isn't necessarily wrong, but it's like if somebody wants to dress as a giraffe and go down school marm, that doesn't affect me at all. But somebody riding around with a speaker blaring music, like, no, I don't want to listen to your stuff. There's a reason why headphones exist. There's everyone has Bluetooth earbuds. Everyone has Bluetooth, or even just wired earbuds that they can listen to. That's a common thing for snowboarding. But like just blaring your music and you like ride up next to me while I'm trying to strap in, like I don't want to hear your stuff. Like I value my senses on the mountain a lot, like listening, because if somebody comes screaming down the mountain or if somebody's right behind me and they can't stop because they're like a beginner, I need to know that. I want to know that. And if you're just blaring music next to me, it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to hear it. I feel the same way of like driving around and somebody's just blaring music out of their car, right? I feel the same way because I like to be able to hear sirens or hear honking and that type of stuff. So like, I think that there's two sides of it. And I think that's where a lot of your comments are coming from of like, if there's no harm in it, why does it matter? Versus like, if you're kind of being, I'm going to say douchey about it, then like, yeah, then there's that. But yeah.
And the funny thing though is like there's the 3 out of the 7 trends were, I guess, borderline the hypocritical, because I called out the turtle butts because I think they're super goofy. And once again, these are brand new things that have popped up. And my thought process is like, why wear a turtle butt when you can wear the same product in your pants? And once again, these things I think are fine for children to use, but adults, it just, to me, it looks really goofy. But once again, that's my own opinion, and as a trend, you know. And so I was just calling out bad trends. The idea was just to make a fun video that just, I don't know. But the majority of what I talked about was like, hey, don't be mean to people. Don't overthink your snowboard gear. Don't give people a worse time on the mountain by spraying them or heckling them from the chairlift. I talked about snow bro talk and how it's not real. It's just goofy. And people took offense to that one too. I'm just like, okay, I guess if you guys want snowboarders to still have the image of the Chabra, yeah, what's that? Like, so I was just like, that's not real. People don't actually really talk like that. It's just, you know, they're playing a character when they speak like that. But some people took offense to that one as well.
Yeah, I do find it very fascinating because there's two comparable things to like snowboarding culture. And I can only really touch on one. So you've got surf culture that I can't speak on at all because I number one, don't live in a state that you can really surf, but also I've never been surfing. So I can't speak on that at all. But skateboarding, and that's something I can speak on because I have skateboarded a small amount, but also I've indulged myself in skateboarding videos and that type of stuff a lot. But it is crazy that it's like when you go to a skate park and somebody's skating around, there's very few people that are discouraging you as a beginner. There's more people encouraging you. And that's a misconception. A lot of people that are getting into skating feel like they're being judged and they feel very intimidated and they feel like they're in the way and things like that. But in skateboard culture, it's a very welcoming culture. Everyone that's skating just wants other people to learn how to skate. But snowboarding does not feel that way. And like they just want to, like, they're not very beginner friendly. There's a lot of hate in it. And then with it comes like these people that think that if you're not this grungy snowboarder that is yelling random words and just saying the most weird stuff and like, I don't know, like if you're not just this, if you don't fit this idea of this snowboarder in their brain, like you can't do this. And so many people do that to you, bro. So many people do that to beginners, and it's a disgusting culture, and it's a shame, you know. I wish that snowboarding was a lot more welcoming to people, but it's just not that way.
See, I find skateboarding and snowboarding to be exactly the same. Like the same person that's gatekeeping and being, and someone said that's not the right word, but the same grungy, really good snowboarder that is making it less enjoyable for beginners on snowboarding is doing the same thing for skating. But then there's like the middle ground, the majority of like, I put some time in, I'm kind of more competent with this. Those guys want the beginners to win. I do think though with skateboarding, you know, the majority of people can get on a skateboard and kick around, but then they like don't go to a skate park. Where with snowboarding, like the average, like when you get to the average level of snowboarding, you can have a lot of fun. Where like with skateboarding, when you get to the average level of skateboarding, it's like not that fun still, if that makes sense. So you just see less of that middle ground with the skating. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but I think it's literally the same, like the same level of gatekeeping for both sports. Like John Hill talks about it a lot, and if you don't know, he's a skateboard YouTuber, and he talks about the gatekeeping aspect of skateboarding. The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure I got the 10 bad trends video idea from John Hill. But I don't think that video backfired. I think that video's doing what I wanted to, but I guess I feel misunderstood, and that's a frustrating feeling because I'm like, you people, and how did you not see my point? I guess
it's posting anything about your opinion on the internet is gonna get misrepresented. Like it's never.
I don't know why we can't have different opinions either. I don't understand, and that can go like across the board. All of humanity. Like, when did having a different opinion from someone become a bad thing? Like, I've always encouraged and liked having friends that I didn't agree with, because then we could have like really good conversations and maybe we disagreed on something, but then we came to a collective agreement on something that made it overall a better situation or idea or whatever it is. Like this thought of everyone has to have the same idea, or like, I can't be subscribed to your channel because you made fun of onesies. Like, come on, like what? Like that makes no sense. Like, okay, bye, I guess. I don't care.
I think we've talked about it before. Yeah, we have talked about it, but I brought it up with actually one of my coworkers yesterday. It was just like, I love competition. I love competing. I'm really big into like two things really: sports, particularly football, and like my video games. And with that, I think that competition is very healthy, and I've talked about it also with like brands, right? Speaking of like just snowboarding, if snowboard, you know, Burton, K2, all these companies that make snowboards, it's like, if there weren't multiple companies making the snowboards, then we would never get better, right? If they weren't competing with each other, one brand would make a snowboard, and if it was bad, that's all that you have. So you just have to deal with it, right? So I've always talked about competitiveness and like how healthy it is, but it also is also very negative in when it comes to like that opinion base. People want to be correct. They want to be, in that competitive sense, they want to be the smarter person, the more correct person, but they like are they're messing up the idea of an opinion and a fact, and like that's what so many people in this world just don't understand. And that it's like, just because my opinion is different from you doesn't mean that it's wrong, because I could feel the same way, right? Your opinion is different from mine, you're wrong, but then they feel the same way. It's like that's not how that works. Some of the best advice I've ever been given is like, the way you feel or your opinion on something just can't be wrong. That's why it's an opinion. Like it's not a fact. It's like, I don't like snowboarding as much as Johnathan. That's why I moved away from the mountains. Does that mean that Johnathan is wrong? No. Does that mean that I'm wrong? No. Because I like playing video games more than Johnathan. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that Johnathan doesn't, but it's like, I chose the path of like, I want to be a video gaming streamer and YouTuber. Johnathan wanted to be a snowboarding YouTuber. We took different paths, but we can respect each other and we can love each other and we can bond together and just have these opinions. And even with like Jonathan's video, I've got some stuff I disagree with it, but there's a lot of stuff I do agree with it, and that's fine. And we're brothers and we're having this healthy conversation about this. And it's just crazy that people can't wrap their head around that. I don't know. It's a shame that that's the world that we live in right now.
Yeah, because like I could even see someone being like, oh man, I disagree with these 3 points of your video. They seemed a little gatekeepy, but whatever. No, people are like, you're a gatekeeper and this is ridiculous and how dare you make this video? I'm like, what? Okay, so sorry. Jesus Christ.
I know that you're used to it by now, but it's a, once again, like, opinions and everything, but it's like, you're sorry, bro, but like, you're like the most hated guy in the community. And
oh, dude. I also am self-aware. I did a lot of things in my earlier YouTube career to put me in that spot, and I owned it. I pushed against the like, yo, I'm a pro snowboarder, and people are like, no, you're not. Even in that video, I was like, I've been snowboarding for 15 years, 6 years professionally. You don't think that was calculated? That was a calculated intro. Like, I knew that was gonna cause some hate. Like, so I've leaned into it.
Now, I as soon as I saw your intro, I was like, that entire intro was a strategy, and it worked, and it's good. But no, so many, yeah, like, people, like, they literally like hate you, and they just want you. They just want to disagree with you, and they just don't want you to succeed. So when you say stuff like, yeah, I've been snowboarding professionally for 6 years, which is a fact, like, so many people say, take away YouTube, and what are you? You're just a snowboarder. It's like, okay, take away snowboarding. What is he? Like, his entire YouTube is based around snowboarding. So, no, he snowboards as a profession.
All professional snowboarders nowadays, like at least the big ones, have to have a social media following. It's kind of a criteria now. Just putting it out there. So, like, everyone that's a professional snowboarder needs to have a professional level of following as well, or they want you to. Does that make sense? Like, it's, you can't say take away Instagram and you're nothing. It's like, yeah, same thing with every other professional snowboarder out there. Like that's how you get seen and show products off nowadays. That's the only thing that makes you professional is the ability to promote products for snowboarding.
Snowboarders aren't professional just because they're good. Like just because you're good doesn't make you a professional. You have to get sponsors and stuff like that. But the sponsors, it's a business. They have to make money. So if you're not having that influence, if you're not having that impact to bring in money, it's not a business decision for them to promote you. If you're not like a face, if you're not somebody that is able to sell their brand, why would they promote you?
No, totally. I think we've got off track of what where you were headed, but 100%.
And I did just want to chime in. Speaking of Instagram doing well, not the same type of numbers, but I've talked in the past about how like I don't do well on Instagram. My videos averaged like 500 views, if that, like in the 200. And the last couple videos of mine, I'm scrolling through them right now, 11.8 thousand, 11.6, 4,000, 20.8, 1,020.1, 19. I like my videos on Instagram are finally getting some traction, which is great, but I still am not great on Instagram. Haven't really gained any followers, mostly just the views. But finally on Instagram, getting something. Yeah.
But it's awareness. And you're becoming a familiar face, and like for me too, like I'm pulling very large views. My Instagram following went up a little bit, and the biggest thing is like, people are seeing my face and they're gonna recognize it, hearing my voice. Hopefully, they're gonna recognize it. And so, one, those are huge numbers, bro. 11,000 people. Let's be real. That's a lot of people, And so, keep with it. I'm really happy for your growth. And the crazy thing is, I would argue Instagram's doing the best for me right now too. So whatever Instagram is doing with their algorithm, clearly that's the platform right now to be like doubling down or tripling down on, because it's really pushing organic content and you don't have to do paid promotion, things like that. TikTok, which is usually the one that's like, you post anything on TikTok, it's going to get a ton of views, it's going to do well, is actually doing way worse for me. One of the videos I posted on Instagram hit like 50, 60,000 views. It has like 400 on TikTok. Like TikTok, if you post like anything under like 6 seconds, they literally will not share or post it or whatever. Like TikTok wants long form videos, period. Where Instagram is still just sharing and organically doing whatever. YouTube shorts are doing decent, but I would agree with you, bro. Like Instagram right now feels like it's the place that's pulling crazy numbers.
Now, I know that if you want to do social media, if you want to be an influencer, whatever you want to call it. Sorry. Yeah. If you want to be on these platforms, you have to adapt to what they're doing. And that's exactly what you did. You were daily long form videoing on YouTube for, multiple years. And then you just realized that it's like short form content is the direction that you need to go into. So you shifted gears and you adapted, which is great. And for me, saying that is going to make me sound like a hypocrite when I say this, but it's just like, I don't want to do what is popular on TikTok. And what I mean by that, like I post the content I want to post, and I'm going to get hate, and that's fine. But like, it's the style that I want to post. It's content that I would want to consume. It's just the way that it is. But on TikTok, like you're saying, they want longer form videos, which I'm like, I don't want to watch longer form videos, but also sorry, I'm a little tired this morning.
Dang,
but
bro, you're trying to put me to sleep, dude.
Yes, but they also want you to like, what does well on TikTok are like part 1s and part 2s of like, they'll like set you up in this fun video that you're like paying attention to, and they're like, part 2 is posted on my channel or on my page, and then that's the end of the video. So you have to like go to their page to find the second one, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. I won't do that. If I see part 1 in the title, I'm gonna scroll, because I'm not going to play this silly game that TikTok wants me to play to go and find the part 2 to spend more time on the platform than I actually want to spend, especially because the part 2 is like recapping part 1. I'm like, this is wasting my time. And if you're okay with that, fine, that's good for you. I'm not okay with that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to like post the content I want to post, and I don't want to clickbait people into having to scroll through my page to find a video, because a lot of the times the videos, like if I'm watching a part 1 or whatever, it's a popular video that was posted a couple weeks ago. So if I wanted to find the part 2, I'd have to scroll through this person's content through a couple weeks of their footage to find the part 2, which I'm like looking at this tiny little picture trying to see if that's the one I want. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't, but I also know that I do it in a quote unquote lazy way of like I post one video a day, but the same video goes to YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But I've learned, and like you're saying, that the people that are watching YouTube Shorts aren't the same people that are watching Instagram Reels, and people watching Instagram Reels aren't the same people watching TikToks. Now, yes, there are overlaps, but it's like the content you're posting to each platform technically should be curated to that platform's audience. I'm sorry I'm yawning again, but
where I do a lot of the curation is in the context. So like a YouTube Shorts, all about your title and your thumbnail. Still, like because YouTube Shorts, you can still search and find answers on YouTube Shorts. So if I'm like, hey, how to do a 360, YouTube will now pop up shorts in that search. So you can watch a 8-minute long form video of how to do a 360, or you can quickly watch this short on how to do a 360. So when I post because I'll do the same video on all 3 platforms, but that title that I'm going to put for the YouTube is different than what I'm going to put on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm going to go into depth, and I'm going to very much explain the video and explain like if I do like a goofy, I've been doing like talking a lot about falling or slamming and like being relentless in your drive to get better, and like you just got to accept the fact that you're going to take slams and it's going to suck, but the people that keep showing up and keep going after it are the ones that end up becoming very good at the sport. But if you take a slam and you're like, that sucked, and you never do it again, you're never going to progress. I will literally type what I just said out in my Instagram post. So not only do people watch the video, but they people on Instagram love reading the caption. And then on TikTok, it's not that way at all. On TikTok, I find big success in having the AI voice saying something. So like if it's like me doing a trick, it's like best snowboard trick in September or something, and like the AI voice says it, and then it happens. Where I don't have that on my Instagram or on my YouTube, but I'll have it on TikTok because it does very well on TikTok. So like same content, different strategy on all 3, if that makes sense.
Oh, that does, and like you're saying, like the AI voice, I know what you're talking about, where like it says basically a caption about the video or like a snippet of the video. It's kind of clickbaity, like to get the viewer to listen. Yeah, huge on TikTok, but like yeah, not on Instagram or YouTube. Like yeah, it's completely different. I do know that.
I do think that platforms. Sorry, not to cut you off. I do think the platforms know when you're using. So I'll like sometimes I will put the AI voice in all of the videos, and like specifically Instagram will be like, that's not our AI voice, and they'll dumb down, like the video doesn't get as good a reach. Does that make sense? They know, and if I post a video with because like if you post a TikTok, you can save the TikTok to your phone and then go post it on other places. But it has the like filmed on TikTok like popping up on the screen and things like that. If you post a video with that kind of popping up, the other platforms will kill that video. I've posted enough to know that that's a fact.
No, 100% with AI technology, with algorithm technology, with all the stuff that they have, 100% they know if you're reposting a video, if you're posting a video that has watermarks on it, if you're posting a video that has certain voices in it. It 100% knows that type of stuff. And yeah, it's once again, like it's like you have to create the content for that platform. So it's like if you're going to use that AI voice, you have to use it for like you have to use TikTok's AI voice on TikToks. If you're going to use Instagram, you have to use Instagram's AI voice. And YouTube, I don't think YouTube has an AI voice. Now I think about it.
YouTube doesn't have the text to speak, which is, I don't know why YouTube takes so long to roll things out. I know they're going to roll it out, but that's something that they don't have that they need to roll out. Now, I haven't had issues putting the AI voice on the YouTubes and I'm not doing well. It's really just on Instagram. But one thing I'm having an issue with as well is I do have a family friendly channel. Like my long form videos, me as a person, I'm gonna make genuinely good content. But because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna double down on shorts, there's trending audios that you have. If you're gonna use shorts, you're supposed to use these trending audios. Well, sometimes they don't have the cleanest language, and I didn't even think about it. But I've been posting some shorts of like people talking about crashing, but they're dropping some more language that I won't use in my content in that short, but that's just the trending audio. So I make the content, I post it, and I got some of my followers being like, get rid of the cussing, and like, I thought this was a family friendly channel, and like getting mad at me because I'm using the trending audios, if that makes sense. I've even had someone like email me about a song that like the first, and I guess I didn't catch it, but like the whole like hook, the very beginning of the song was like no swearing, and like it was a trending audio, so I was like, oh, I'll use this one, and then like the last 3 seconds of it, the dude just goes on a cussing spree that I just didn't catch. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of pushback for that, the bad language in the shorts. But I don't know what to do about it, because it's like I'm trying to do these strategies and grow. I'm personally not the one saying it, so it doesn't bug me, if that makes sense. But I get if you're a parent and you're like, oh, subscribe to Buckhouse's videos, like they're super clean and family friendly, and then all of a sudden you're watching my videos and then Travis Rice just starts dropping the F-bomb like 6 times. You're like, what? I don't know. I don't know what to do.
So I think that, there's, it really depends on the parent and how they, how much they want to censor, which is not appropriate. Growing up in the life that we've grown up in the sense of like Christian schools, growing up in the church, things like that, we've seen a lot. I don't know if you've dealt with much of this, but like I know that you've dealt with homeschooling in the sense that mom, quote unquote, homeschooled you. But at my school, our sports program took in a lot of homeschoolers to allow us to play with like more students, so at one of my schools, I played 6-man football with 6 people. Some people that are listening right now are like, 6-man football? What do you mean by that? Like, as in, your traditional football game has 11 people on the field, and there's smaller versions of that. There's 8-man football, and there's 6-man football. I played 6-man football where there's just 6 people, 3 linemen, quarterback, and 2 running backs. And that was just what we played with. So my second Christian school, they opened it up to allow homeschoolers to play sports with us, which gives them the opportunity to be homeschooled, but also play sports. That's great. But also it allowed us to play 11-man football rather than like 8-man or 6-man. So there's pros and cons to it. But anyways, with these homeschoolers, some of them were very, I'm going to say normal, but like here, I'm not saying that homeschoolers aren't normal, but just listen. So like they're very normal. They're very up to date with things. They have phones, they have social media, all this stuff. And then other homeschoolers, their parents shelter them to the fullest extreme. They shelter them to the fullest extreme. So they are, when they like even just go to our Christian school, they're getting rude awakenings that like some of these the schools that we're playing against that aren't Christians are cursing. And like they're like shocked. They're dumbfounded because these people are using curse words. And it's like, that is not healthy. To tell you the truth, I'm not going to tell you how to parent, but it's like, that's not healthy, because as soon as your kid turns 18 and they go into the real world, they go get a job, even at like Target or Walmart or whatever, and everyone around them is cussing and making dirty jokes or whatever, because that's the real world. They're like, you're just harming your kid, because they're going to go into the real world and they're just going to be so shocked and they're going to be so like confused and afraid. And it's like, so as much as I understand why you may not want your 6-year-old to be listening to curse words, I'm 100% understanding of that. It's like, you can't be ignorant for the fact that cursing happens. I mean, even if you watch some old Disney movies, there's cursing in it. I don't think this is a Disney movie. It might be a Disney movie, but I watched Sandlots for the first time the other night with my wife, which actually Sandlots, that was a lot of fun movie. That was a really fun movie. I hate on a lot of older movies. Sandlots.
It's a reason why it's a classic, bro.
Dude, it's yeah, it was a really fun movie. I wish I watched it sooner. But in there, they curse, and it's a kids movie. It's a kids movie, and they curse in it. Like, you can't hide the world from your people. So it's like, I understand what you're saying. Some of the videos you've used, I think, do drop a little bit more F-bombs than they should and stuff like that. But I know what you mean. It's a tough, line to be walking on.
Well, and I grew up religious. I am religious. And I personally you won't find me cursing in my content, But if if I'm willing to grab a soundbite and use it, to me, it clearly didn't bug me, And so, I'm not going to use, if a soundbite truly bugs me, I won't use it, but I don't know. Yeah, I get your point though. It's like, hey, like you can't overly shelter, and I know Christians, I've even heard pastors curse from the podium, like it's their words, they exist. People are going to use them in your life and choose to go about that how you want. But, and I don't want to say like, oh, I'm going to sacrifice my values for followers, because like, hey, it's a family friendly channel. I still believe that. And then I post a short that has some cussing in it. It's like, I've had that thought, like, is that still a family friendly channel then? And so then it's like, well, do I not use sound bites because of that? But like at the same time, like having Chris Grenier and Travis Rice from the Bomb Hole talking about you need to be able to take snowboard slams, and it was like a super viral audio that happened in snowboarding. It's a viral snowboard audio, which it's very niche because there's not that many sound bites for snowboarding, because snowboarding itself is niche. So it's like, do I just not use the audio from two of the biggest pro snowboarders in the industry, or do I use it? Or like, I don't know. Maybe I am sacrificing my values for clicks and views, or I did when I used it, I didn't even think about it. I was like, whatever. It's not a big deal. I don't have the answers.
It is tough because it's like you have to make almost business decisions, and a business decision is involving both choosing to use curse words or choosing not to use curse words, right? And I don't know. I don't see curse words as bad as a lot of people do, and I believe that we add value to words. So using like by nature, a curse word does not, it's a word. It's letters put together. By nature, there is nothing wrong with it. Now, context is incredibly important, right? And that's when curse words can be put into a more like, yeah, that is bad, but you could also say that about non-curse words. If I said, I think that you're ugly, ugly itself is not necessarily a bad word, but by saying you are ugly, now there's some meaning behind it. Now there's some like discomfort, or like there's some rudeness into it, right? So by nature, I don't think curse words are as bad as people make them out to be. And if we're going to talk about religion, to be honest, religion, or in the Bible, they don't really talk about curse words being bad. They more so talk about don't curse your people. Don't curse at people. So if I were to say the F word, if I say like, oh, I really effing love this, that's not necessarily cursing in that sense. But if I said F you, that's me cursing at you. That's technically like a sin. That's technically in the bad sense. So it's like, it's really funny how people have like, I don't know, it's kind of like a culture thing. It's kind of a, it's kind of like a society thing on what gets deemed as bad or not. But I will say Gary Vee, if you guys don't know who Gary Vee is, like a motivational type guy, talks a lot of business on social media. He got in trouble by his kid's teacher because his kid was cursing a lot, and he's like, I don't see what the problem is. He's like, I curse because that's how I express my opinions, and I get that. He's like, if I really am mad about something, or like if I really hate something, I don't just say, man, I really hate that. I say, no, I effing hate that, because that's the way I feel about it. Like that word is just an adjective to help describe the way I feel about something. So I see so much, like I see both sides of it. I see a lot of it, but it's, I don't know. I think that we just add a meaning to a word that doesn't necessarily need it.
Totally. And the cool thing is we're having these conversations because the strategy that I talked about doing in earlier episodes is working. So the stuff that I'm making is reaching more people. I'm getting more opinions because of it. I'm getting more comments. I'm getting more interactions, which is all a good thing, like, especially when you do social media for a living, views, clicks, comments, likes, all that type of stuff is how you build a business on social media. So you can't have one without the other. You're not going to get a lot more views without getting hate and comments and people disagreeing with you. So I know we've kind of just bounced around a lot of directions and places and things, and just know that, one, I'm super thankful for all the attention. I'm thankful for the negative comments. I'm thankful for the differing opinions. I could be wrong on a lot of things, and that's one reason I'm talking about it here. So please comment down below if you guys agree, or if I'm coming out of pocket, or if I do have a family. And I guess I have, like, when I talk to people in public, I'll say, oh, it's a family friendly channel. Like, definitely, like, your kids could watch, not a big deal. But I'm not like going out and preaching like, yo, family friendly channel, subscribe because we're family friendly. Like, I've never put that, what do you call it? Description or trait on my channel. I just have kept it family friendly. Does that make sense? And so I guess people have made their own opinion of my channel type thing. I actually met an influencer the other day, like a decently big one up here in Summit County. And he goes, oh, we couldn't work together because my stuff's not family friendly. And I was like, huh? Like that, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like they put me in this category just because like I'm not cussing or making raunchy content.
Yeah, no, there's a saying I say all the time by NF. If you guys don't know, NF is one of the top rappers, or not, I shouldn't say top rappers. He's a popular rapper nowadays, very popular. And Johnathan and I have actually been listening to him for like 8 years now, which is so crazy to say. Like 7 or 8 years. We've been listening to NF for a very long time, and we've seen him finally like succeed, like go from like a couple 100,000 listeners to like now millions of listeners, and that's such a like. I not like in a hipster sense where it's like I listened to NF before he was cool, but more so like I am so proud of that. Like I'm so proud that I was able to support him through his journey. So I love NF. Literally right behind Master Chief right here is his record for Clouds. Like I have it framed. Like I love NF so much. And if you listen to him, he does throw religion in there sometimes, and he is a Christian, but he's not a Christian rapper. And how does that make any sense? He talks about God every now and then and he references it. Like, what do you mean he's not a Christian rapper? So his saying is this. He's like, I'm not a Christian rapper. I'm a rapper that is Christian. And he's like, if you invited a plumber into your home and that plumber is a Christian, does that make him a Christian plumber? Or does that make him a plumber that is a Christian? Like, you don't, just because you're this influencer and you have this trait doesn't make you that. It's not that, like you're saying, like you don't curse in your content, you don't make raunchy jokes, so you are family friendly, but that doesn't make you a family friendly influencer. That doesn't mean that you are it's like you're putting a label on something that doesn't have to be a label. If you watch a movie that's rated PG, it's not that it's a kid friendly movie, it's a movie that is kid friendly. Like I don't know, like people are putting labels on stuff that doesn't. Yeah,
I see your point. And it's hard, man, when someone like, let's say they have watched me for years and they like have never heard a curse word on the channel, and then they go on a new short and the song at the end. And I will say, if I knew the song went that off at the very end of it, I probably would have cut it a little shorter, because it was like a really like talking about dreaming and like making something of yourself and doing it with your friends. And I used the song worked great it was a clip of me and Michael snowboarding together. And so, it was like me and Michael have had a lot of dreams together. He owns a business called Ski Doctor. And the year I quit my job was the year I met Michael as a friend, and he's helped me as much as I've helped him. And we both literally built businesses right side by side by helping each other. So, and we've had these dreams and we've done a lot of them together. So I found this song and I was like, dude, this is a rad song to put with Michael. And then the chorus ends and it gets to this guy rapping and he just starts going off. But I just didn't catch it. I don't know.
Yeah, and accidents are going to happen, and that's just like the reality. But I do think that it's like it's a decision that you have to make, and whether you want to consider it a moral decision or whether you want to consider it like a business decision or both, to tell you the truth, it's your decision to make on whether you want to have that be incorporated on the channel. I do think that I know a lot of people that are considered like, they don't curse or whatever, but they do listen to music with curse words, and they're completely okay with that. And that's like, I don't see anything wrong with that. And it's not necessarily that they agree with what's being said, but it's more so that it's like, I enjoy this song. I don't enjoy every piece of it, but I enjoy this song. And like they can enjoy in more intense movies like Deadpool. I love Deadpool. Deadpool's a really fun movie. Is it wildly inappropriate? Yes. Does it have a ton of cuss words? Yes. Do I think kids should watch it? No. But like, you can still enjoy it for what it is, regardless of kind of like how you feel about what's being said in it. If that makes sense.
Totally. And just the fact that we've had this conversation or people have made their opinions known. Yeah. Like when I'm making content, I'll weigh my odds. And that's another thing, once again, with the intro to the 10 bad snowboard trends or whatever. That intro was, I weighed my odds. I was like, do I put this in here? And I filmed like 3 different intros, and one of them didn't. And I did one with I've been snowboarding 6 years professionally, and I'm just like, I have, and I'm going to use this credibility, and like that was a strategic decision I made, and I will. A lot of people think I'm just stupid. I'm doing things, but I really am making strategic decisions. Bristol just woke up. She's been waking up super early. Oh, baby girl.
If we need to cut short, bro, we can.
No, we should be fine. Let me just run her to lay with mom real quick.
While Johnathan is taking care of his daughter, we can just chime in and add, don't forget that we want to hear your guys' opinion on this. So join the conversation down below. Let us know where your stance is on like the cursing. If you're, all about it, then like, just kind of try to see it from a different perspective as well, right? If see it from a parental perspective, or somebody that is very religious, or see it from that perspective on how they can feel about curse words, right? We encourage people to have different opinions. We encourage people to have different perspectives. And so we want to hear yours down in the comment section down below. Join the conversation. Maybe we'll talk about something next week that you guys mention. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, as we're going to continue to post these podcasts. Once again, episode 25. We got 24 other episodes for you guys to listen to. So go listen to them.
Hi guys, I'm back. My daughter has... This is the hardest part about being a dad and doing all this, and especially with the early mornings. She will wake up 3 to 4 times a night right now. And the kids just go through cycles where she's like, wakes up and daddy, lay with me. So normally I will go like lay with her for a second. She falls back asleep. I sneak away, but I just went and dumped her with mom right now, so her and mom can have a little cuddle session. But being a parent is rad, but it's so hard. But I do want to say, bro, you have anything on your end you want to talk about, like your new job, or your, like, we kind of just talked a lot in a ways about what's going on in my life. What's going on with you?
Yeah, we can switch it up a little bit. No, I'm loving my new job. Going back to like religion. I've struggled with religion a lot, and I think that's something we talked about, but this is something I've never felt before, and I finally am feeling it, where I really do believe that God put me in a position to work with kids. I always wanted, like, our little brother passing away. We've touched on it a little bit, but to be honest, I've always wanted a little brother. I've always wanted to have that relationship, and it got ripped away from me. I say that, but it's like, there was hopes and dreams of it, and then it was about to come true, and then it didn't, and that was really hard. And that's where I've struggled a lot in life, and to finally be in a position where like I can help kids and be an influence to kids, and like they look up to me. I really am seeing like God's vision for my life, and God's piecing it together, and that's such like an incredible feeling. So I've got so much passion about my job right now, which is something I've never really like felt. I really liked that social media job I had, but like, no, this passion I feel right now is just incredible. Like, I'm so excited to go to work, and I'm so excited to see these kids and everything. But I'm a front office person. I do a lot of documenting. I do a lot of keeping track of their their paperwork to make sure everything's signed appropriately, everything is make sure that we have every document signed and make sure it's all filed correctly, and then also making sure that we have to keep up with like the medical standards, so we have to keep track of like notes that we're putting on the kids to make sure everything's getting billed appropriately. So I'm having to do all of that, which is fine, but it's like I'm staring at a computer screen 8 hours a day and I'm focusing on it, and mentally it's challenging. So I've got these glasses right here that are like blue light glasses. I'm going to bring those to work today to try to protect my eyes a little bit more so they're not so fatigued at the end of the day. But there's also stuff where it's like there's stuff called stimuli, which is basically just like physical things that stimulate the kids. So it helps them with like learning how to I print off a bunch of stuff that's like and like cut it out, but it's like fruits. So it talks about fruits like apple, banana, blah blah, right? So like breaks it down, or activities. So it's like going down the slide or whatever, and it's just like pictures and images where the kids can visualize it, stimulate their eyes, stimulate their brains. So I'm like doing arts and crafts for them, and like it was tedious, and I was doing a lot of cutting, and I was kind of bored, but I was like, I'm doing this for the kids, and that's all that matters. And so it's an amazing feeling. I'm very thankful to be in the spot that I'm in right now.
Finding a purpose is huge, and like a big reason why I'm able to wake up so early and work on my channel relentlessly is because I have a purpose of being an influence, a positive influence on young adults and males, and being who to the guy who influenced me when I was younger, being that in my head, I'm that guy to now thousands of people. That's my purpose. I love being there for people and giving them enjoyment through a 15-minute video online and things like that, and helping them get into the sport that I love so much. And so to hear you say like you found something that is giving you a purpose and something that you're so excited for, that it's not a selfish excitement, it's excitement for other people. I love hearing that, bro. And that's huge. And it sounds like too, like you're in the office right now, but it sounds like there could be growth to where you can end up start working with the kids a lot more and things like that. And that's really exciting to hear.
Yeah, we're gonna do so I haven't really talked on it too much because I don't know a lot about it. I need to really sit down with the owner and discuss more with them about it. But I'm actually gonna do some social media work with them as well. So it's actually kind of nice that I still am in social media, but it's completely different. It's not like content creation where it's gonna be me like having fun or following trends necessarily, but more so trying to spread the awareness of our business. It's locally owned. We've got 3 locations in the town I live in and everything, or in the city I live in, but they're doing really well, but it's not like this corporate company or anything like that. And so I had this opportunity to make an impact on their social media. But it's funny because where we need help is actually getting more people to want to work for us. So it's like, it's such an interesting take on it. So right now we're just focusing on me doing my job, my like front office job, but eventually it'll be like 50-50 where I'm doing social media stuff and doing the office work. So I actually am very thankful for my job, but I don't know how much I'm going to work with kids. And what I mean by that is kids do give me anxiety. I'm just going to break that out now. Like kids do give me anxiety. And so I don't know if that's necessarily the spot that I want to be in. Like the job I'm doing, sure, I could be making a bigger impact if I was with the kid, but I'm still putting an impact on kids. Even though I'm just like the front office person, I'm making sure that they're able to get the help that they need through us. I'm making sure that we're getting stuff billed appropriately. So at the end of the day, I'm a cog in the cycle, right? I'm helping this whole process work. So I love that. But the other thing though is that my boss, the person that hired me, we kind of had like, I want to say a heart to heart, but we got to know each other a lot this past week as she's been training me. And she asked, where do I stand religiously? And we had this conversation. I told her that I really do think that God put me in this position. And she was like, I feel the same exact way for me. And she then told me her story. And she has a very similar like story about it. And now she's been in the business for like 12 years, but she's never actually worked with the kids. She's just been doing the administrative work. And she just still feels that blessing and still feels this opportunity. And so it's like, I don't I could see myself staying in this business for a while, but not necessarily like just doing what I'm still doing and just being the best I can for the kids and helping them the best I can and everything. So I'm not sure the direction that I'm going to go in, but God knows, and he'll put me in that direction. So maybe I'll be working with kids. Maybe I won't directly working with kids. Maybe I'll just continue to help on the back end of things. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe I've become like this big social media person that really helps the business grow and take it to the next level. That's the journey that God wants from me. I don't know. But I am going to sit in, we call it with the session, basically like a time period with the student, just kind of for like almost training purposes or perspective purposes to like see kind of what that looks like. And maybe that's a great experience for me, and I love doing it, right? So we'll see. I'm really looking forward to the future with it, though.
You're not weird, bro. Kids give everybody anxiety. They're just a ball of blah, and you're just like, but no, that's awesome, man. And I hope, once again, just finding a purpose. Like if you're in a non-purposeful job, or you're working something that just like stresses you out and you hate it and you're like, what am I doing? I'm a big advocate of start searching for something new, follow your dreams. And it's one of those things where I don't think that everyone does get to live their dreams, if that makes sense. Because I've had many dreams. I wanted to be a professional video game player. I would have loved to play college football. You know, like you have some dreams that just aren't a reality. But at the same time, like you can find avenues that get you close to that dream. So like if I really did want to do the football thing, maybe I could have been a ball boy and then done a physical therapy, sports therapy, you know, like, and gotten really close to that lifestyle where that was kind of my thought process with snowboarding. I was like, oh, I'm just going to snowboard, and we have a kid at the door. I'm just going to snowboard, and an opportunity will present itself, and it ended up actually being the dream of snowboarding for a living.
No, 100%. Like I said, like I've always wanted, like I know it sounds like you have to kind of take in consideration that it was just a tough time for me, but it's like I always wanted to have a little brother, and that's just, to tell you the truth, that's what I wanted. And yes, I have little sisters, and I love them, and I love that I can be an impact in their life, and I do love seeing the growth that they have. But it's just that, like in that moment, as an 8-year-old, I really wanted a little brother, and we finally had the opportunity, and it was just like taken away. And now it's like I just want to be a positive influence on a younger generation. I've thought in the past about doing like a Big Brother program, right, where you are like kind of I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like you essentially sign up for a program where you like meet with a kid for, you know, a couple times a week or whatever, and you just are hanging out with them and just being that like kind of quote unquote big brother. So I've thought about doing stuff like that, but then just never like committed to it. And then now I'm in this position where, like you said, like I've had this dream or this idea, and now it's like it's a different avenue. It's just a different take on it to be able to help these kids with behavioral therapy, and I'm just looking forward to it. So,
oh, that's so awesome, bro. As you were talking, I had not one, but both my children wander into this room who have woken up a whole 45 minutes sooner than they normally wake up. So I hate to. It's not too early, or
no, we're at a good time. We're at a good time.
Mommy's so sleepy.
But my kiddos are ending this podcast today.
Mommy's so sleepy.
Mommy's still sleeping. Totally. So, bro, I absolutely love talking with you, man, and we can jump. Hopefully, I want to talk way more about what we were just talking about, maybe the next episode. So subscribe, guys. If you're new and not subscribed to the channel, keep listening. We also, once again, have, what are we on? This was 26?
25.
So
25.
25. So we have plenty of episodes if you guys want more of this. And yeah, give us your feedback on the episode, the thoughts, the things that we talked about. And
I got all as a TV.
yeah, Bristol. I don't know what she said. But I love you, bro. I love all the listeners. And guys, thank you so much for the support. Bro, you can close it off officially.
I'll close it up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for being here. We really do appreciate it. Once again, don't forget to join the conversation down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. We will see you guys next week with another podcast, episode 26. Super exciting. See you guys next week.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.